Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Amanda Nardozzi. Thanks for hopping into my little ferret den here. We're keeping it warm. We're keeping it cozy. I got my heated blanket on. I got my water nearby. Actually, I'll bring that closer to me. Your girl gotta stay hydrated. And then we'll get started. So, today I've been feeling a pull. That's actually not stable, so I'm gonna take it over here. Whoops. All right. So, today I've been feeling the call to give an angel reading. I think it's been a minute since I've done one of those, but I'm going to be using angel decks today. Obviously, we're using your boy Kyle Gray right here. We have angel prayers, and then we're also using the angel guide. And fun fact, this is actually my first oracle deck that I ever bought for myself. And I don't know, I always felt like a special connection to it because I was really I did the whole shebang. Like I was sleeping with the cards under my pillow, and I was like looking at each individual card and trying to journal about each individual card. I don't really know how long that lasted, but I definitely spent a lot of time with the cards. So we're gonna start with my angel guide deck first, since we're talking about it. And of course, you'll see my ferrets running around in the background. I actually have Coda out right now, and Coda and the two new boys, they're not really new anymore. I've had them for like 7 months, but they don't get along yet. I'm seeing some progress. Needs a little bit more effort, a little bit more work, but in the meantime, they're just gonna sit by and make a lot of noise because they're jealous and they want to come out. And they also hear their mom, so they're like, "Let me out now." But they're gonna have to wait. This one is Rigatoni, and then this one right here is Joji, the one with the whiter face. I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but Joji's a tad bit fluffier. Huh, Jumanji? Hey, Rigatoni. But don't, can you be chill while I do readings, please? Can you be chill? Yes, thank you. And then Coda's off sleeping in a corner somewhere. He was cuddling in my lap for a second, and then he was like, "No, I'm sick of this, bye." So, all right, so... let's see. I'm just going to use the cards, and then whatever gets channeled through. A lot of my information these days is just getting channeled straight. So I'm going to pick a card as like a theme to kind of guide me. So what's the theme of this reading? Ease and grace. Okay. I have a love-hate relationship with this card, and I'm about to tell you why. This card is always coming up when you are in survival mode, or you are coming out of survival mode and you're dealing with the aftermath, or things are bad and then they're getting worse. So this isn't saying that things are going to get worse. This is just a guarantee that, first of all, is spirit validating that things are difficult right now, and they're like, "I hear you, I understand." I'm actually going to hold the card up so you can look at it a little bit longer. But spirit's like, "I hear you, I understand," and I'm not going to say it's supposed to be painful, but the word painful is coming to mind. So this might actually be like a deep grief, or some type of pain or loss that you're experiencing, but there is some type of suffering happening. And ease and grace is the guidance of the card, or the overall theme is the necessity right now. It's like an absolute necessity to ebb and flow, sort of like your water around a river of rocks. So you're flowing around the obstacles rather than through them. You're not trying to like push the obstacles aside or kind of roll over them. You're just meant to move and flow around them. And it's very uncomfortable. But in the end, this card always says that you're going to be okay. This card is all about, like, we understand things are challenging right now, but it is about spiritual growth. So let's pull like a Strength Heart Challenge. It's like a classic spread for Kyle Gray's cards. We're going to see overall like this feeling of, I'm going to stick it up here so I can see that that's the main theme. So either like currently undergoing like a challenging time. I'm getting like a lot of messages actually when I wanted to sit in this space, and I was like, generally like what's the vibe? Like, what are we looking at? Like, what are these people? Why is my camera crooked? I'm sorry. My camera's a little crooked. All right. It was bugging me a little bit. Okay. But it almost felt like there's like a necessity to rewrite your story in a sense, or it's like, I just want to reclaim my power, or I want to take it back somehow, or like somehow I just want, like, I mean, I'm even hearing something like, how do I keep it together? How do I make do with the situation that I have? Some of you are trying to figure out, like, how much do I change? What do I get rid of? What do I ignore? So, hi, Coda. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so one strength that you have is the second something is happening or something is going down, you're like, nope. And it's not like you're noping out of the situation, but it's almost like you need to stop to assess. So taking a step back is what this card is. And what this card says is a strength that you've had is being able to pull yourself back and recollect. Like it's all I'm hearing, like I need to recollect my energy and I need to reframe what's happening. And Spirit's saying that they're applauding you. They're like, you're very good at doing this. This is something, or at least that you're recognizing. And I'm hearing like I need to get on stable footing, and it's that awareness is your strength. The awareness that you're actively seeking, like pulling back to your energy and saying you need that. Excuse me, sir. He doesn't have the greatest upper arm strength, so he's trying to climb something. That is Coda. But you're taking a step back and you're recollecting what's coming up from the heart within this time. This is the heart card, healing energy. So kind of like what we were saying, taking a step back, recollecting yourself, grounding yourself, and then trying to, so I'm hearing like picking up the pieces of a shattered heart. So some of you might be going through a breakup. Some of you might be going through a job loss or a layoff. But there's something about loss. It could be even like the death of a loved one. So whatever the case may be, on whatever scale it is, there's no pain greater or smaller than another. Like it's all to yourself maybe, but it's all relative. Just understand that, you know, you're taking the time necessary to heal, or that it's necessary to, in order to get to, okay, it's like shifting your perspective or needing to shift your perspective to like a higher understanding. And by that, there is an order. Like as of right now, things are going to shit because they're supposed to be shit because you're growing. You're going to grow from it. And I know you're like, like I already know that, but it's almost reassurance because I do feel like whoever I'm talking to has kind of hasn't been on stable footing in a while. Or like they were like put through tornadoes and hurricanes and they were like, okay, all right. Like now that I feel like it's almost like you've been floating in the air for a while and now you're finally just starting to touch the ground, but I see you're floating and your feet are just like gently tapping the ground, but you don't necessarily have a good grip yet. So it's needing to kind of heal, bring your energy back. I'm getting a lot of grounding. Grounding keeps coming to me, even though I don't see any grounding cards. Like ease and grace, like and healing energy. They both talk about grounding at some point, I think, in their descriptions, and they do insinuate grounding to some level. There is an actual grounding card here, but there's just an energy of like needing to kind of heal the ouch and, you know, come back. I don't know why. I'm sorry. It's like the front facing camera of the phone. It's like I'm watching myself do it for a change. So I'm like, oh, this is weird. The challenge here is signs and reminders. So you could have you could have trouble seeing what's the signs that Spirit is sending you. And I'm hearing like, well, what do I look for? What do I look for? And that actually requires you to be, I'm not going to say in flow, but be calm and ask. You know, chill your body, chill your mind, connect with your heart. Like honestly, just turning your awareness to the heart and imagining your heart in your heart space. And then asking like, okay, what are my signs? And then being on the lookout for them, keeping it in your awareness to look out for them during the day, because signs only come up as signs when, like, sometimes it's not the same thing. Bless you. Signs come up as signs. It's not always the same thing. So some people say, oh, like, you know, when I see butterflies, that's when my grandmother's around. Or, oh, when I see like anything related to music or musical notes, that's like, you know, somebody else that has passed on. Or, oh, if I see like signs of like, I don't know, it could be something goofy like flamingos, or like, oh, if I see like specifically the color green in this context or whatever, then, oh, like that's a sign for me saying that I'm on the right track. Or like triple numbers. A lot of you go like triple digits, like 2 ones. I'm getting ones for a lot of you. Whoa, that was ones, 3 ones. So it's like 111. I'm getting like, it could be 222 or 444, but 111 just came through really strong. So for some of you, ones might be your number. I'm also seeing a picture of sandals. So some of you are actually like, you're going to come alive during the summer, or you're looking forward to summer, like beach time, or like wanting a vacation. I'm taking it more for summer than I am for beach. Some of you might like to go to the beach, but I'm getting that some of you are really looking forward to rest and vacation. And you might feel like you haven't gotten that in a while. So there's that, but it's almost like that vacation has been on your mind, or that wanting to rest and relax. Cause I'm seeing just like, they're like house slippers, or they kind of look like sandals to me, like beach sandals of some sort. But the challenge here is recognizing. So when I say sometimes you have a specific thing, and other times, like the way that I do it, and you don't have to be like extremely in tune or whatever. You don't have, because like I feel like my feet have been off the ground, not recently, but like I think starting like a month ago is when I started to get it back. But there was a period of time for a few months where I was trying to focus on my life, and it was, you know, a lot happening at the same time. So it's almost like when I decide, when I set the intention in my day to day to say, hey, I'm going to notice signs, even if you tell, like, just making the declaration that you will notice signs. When you see the thing in the physical, when you see what the sign is, it's not a logical awareness that that is your sign. Like, you can assign something and say, oh yeah, like, you know, flamingo is going to be my thing. And then when you see flamingo, like, oh shit, that's my sign. Oh my gosh. But if you don't want to make it a physical thing, and you're kind of on the path of, like, if you're a little bit more confident in trusting your own intuition, we're all on the path of trusting our intuition at some point. But if you're feeling a little confident, you're feeling a little daring, I usually do this where it slips in, it kind of clicks as a knowing. Like, as soon as I look at something, and then it just, like, it hits me, and I'm like, oh. And sometimes it hits me like a freight train. Sometimes it's subtle, where the thought comes up, and I'm like, is that a sign? If you have to ask, it is. And then if you're not sure what it means, then fall into kind of like a blank slate in your head and ask and say, what does it mean? And then wait for the answer to pop up. And it usually pops up as like a random thought that comes in. And if the thought feels good when you say it out loud, then that is usually how you train your intuition to communicate with, like, your guides and any type of spirit on the other side. Like, if it feels good, if it feels like your heart space is opening, and if it feels almost like there's peace, relief, and comfort coming through with that, it gets stronger and stronger the more you practice. But just harnessing your intuition that way for anybody that needed it. And then I'll pull one more card, and then we'll move to another deck. And I'm getting dice. So I did actually forget. It's right there, so I'm going to go grab it. But I'm hearing like dice, so I need to go grab it. You also have raise your vibration too. So if you're worried about, you know, things that pop into your head, and you're like, oh gosh, that doesn't sound right, it doesn't feel like it's good in my heart. This is just like asking you to get into a better headspace. Getting into a better headspace. For some of you, it's following creativity. For a lot of you, I'm seeing like music. I'm seeing, like, I see a little art palette. So for some of you, getting into your creative mind. It's almost, there's something about it that lifts you up and it lifts your heart. So just be open to any creative things that come through. Let me go get my dice. Hang on one second. Hey, you want to make sure we have that at the ready for when the time comes. Okay. And then we have another deck here. We have angel prayers. So we're going to pull from angel prayers and see what else. What archangels are with us at this time, helping guide us. I'm hearing Spirit say, you're a wreck. Like, would you probably agree? Like, this is something that you would know. Like, I'm not just telling you. Like, they're coming through, like, very, like, whoo, girl, guy, whatever. Whoo, you're a wreck. But it's because, like, you know, they're just mentioning, they're validating that you've been through the ringer. Not that you, like, look awful or anything. So that might be the case. I mean, like, sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, ugh. But they're acknowledging your suffering. Oh, I can't make this shit up. So cute. Y'all are being cute. So you know how in this deck, literally, okay, so my heart just dropped. And I got a little bit of the chills. So this card, you first got take a step back. And when I pulled from this deck, you got take a step back. So thank you, angels, for helping me to step back from what's not serving me. I actually, interestingly enough, when I pull this card, when I'm pulling this, it's saying, like, so it's recognizing that you need to take a step back. When this card is coming up, there is another message that's coming through. So you're, like, knowing that you need to remove yourself from an overall situation. This is telling me you need to remove yourself from a person, a specific person, or a specific situation. Like this, when we were getting into this card the first time around, The strength was that you recognize that you need to take a step back from an overall energy. I do feel like we're going through a transformation right now. Whoever I'm talking to is going through a transformation where they're clearing out their energy, which means that there's some things they're getting rid of, so they can make room for new things to come in. And by that, I mean like maybe some situations in your life have gone stale. Like maybe you're at a job that you know you need to leave, or maybe you've been in communication with somebody who does not have your best interests at heart, and maybe it was like a betrayal or something came to light, and you're like, or just the vibe's not there anymore, and you're like, oh, like what's this doesn't make me feel my best. So, I don't understand what's going on, right? So when this card comes up, it almost feels like there's a specific, no, not this one, I'm sorry. Ooh, this card. When this card comes up, it's almost like there is a specific person or situation or scenario that you need to walk away from. And when I get this card, like it's coming with the feeling of reluctance. Like I'm actually feeling my heart pull because it's almost like a bittersweet thing. So I do feel like this is like it could be a relationship with a person, but it's something you're like emotionally attached to. And it's something that you may need to say goodbye to, but it's something that you've been needing to say goodbye to for a while. Oh, thank you for kisses. I appreciate that. He's giving me kisses. Okay, that was a little extra, the way he just kind of flung himself off the ramp. But anyway, so wow, that hurts though. Like I feel like that. Okay, I need something else. I gotta work through that energy because that does not feel good to me. Like it's something you have to do, but it has all kinds of ickiness and stickiness to it. And I feel like whatever this situation is, they're showing me like goo or stick, some type of sludge or slime, and it's kind of clinging to you a little bit. And it's really like you're fighting it, but you love it, and you come back to it. And then like sometimes you fight it, but I'm getting overall that some of you might actually be just like loving up on it a little bit and not really realizing you have to let it go. If you've had the thought though. If you're at this reading and you're at this point, you've had that thought and you know you need to let it go because it feels like it's sticking to you in some way. God, like I feel like I have to do some yoga after this reading, like because it's like don't mind if I do a little dance because it's like it feels. All right, I need another card. I gotta shake this. All right, so the miracle of prayer, Archangel Sandalphon. So thank you, Sandalphon, for delivering my prayers to heaven. So I'm hearing how. How do I do it? Where does this opportunity come from is another thing that just came through. So some of you could be looking for an opportunity maybe to get out of a situation, or you're like wanting to manifest something and you're waiting for an opportunity to come in. But there's something here you have to shake. So ask for help. Oh my God, the power of asking for help. I feel like if y'all have been taught this before, or if you've heard someone like me or even me talk about this before, then you need a lesson. You need another lesson, because let me reiterate and remind, if you're coming back to this, or even if you're new, then let me share this with you. Spirit will help you as much as you allow them to. But the power of asking for help is incredible when I tell you that it is insane the type of stuff that can happen when you just ask. Now, that doesn't mean that yeah, miracles can happen, of course, but it doesn't mean that the answers to all of your prayers are just going to show up at your doorstep the next day. It doesn't always work like that, but it does take time. But you got to ask. You got to ask, or like, I'm not going to say nothing's going to be set in motion, but Spirit's like, okay, well, I see you down here crying. And like, I see you like, okay, I actually see you crying on somebody's doorstep. I don't know if that's like a person or like, you're crying at the door, not wanting to leave. There's something about like, I see like the representation of somebody at somebody's doormat, like kind of like holding their heart, like they're broken. And I'm not sure if they're like asking for somebody to come out, like they want someone back, or they want like, I'm hearing like, please reconsider. Or for some of you, it could be like knowing you're walking away and you kind of like close the door, but you're like struggling to let go. Ask the angels, ask your guides. There's Archangel Michael. Oh, Archangel Michael's coming through so strong right now. Archangel Sandalphon, yes, because the story behind Archangel Sandalphon, at least in the story that Kyle Gray talks about with this specific card, is that like what he does is he takes all of the prayers and he weaves them together in a wreath, and then he takes it up to God, or whatever. In the Christianity, he takes it up to the throne of God, and then he puts the prayer wreath at his feet. And that's how prayers basically get sent to God and get answered and blah, blah, blah. And that's what it's like in that sense. But for this one, that's basically what it is. Does it come true immediately? Not necessarily. Not always. Sometimes we need to go through a series of transformations. I'm hearing like letters to God, letters to, ooh, okay. So I'm hearing letters to God. So some of you might actually do well with writing letters every night, even if it's the same letter over and over again. But I feel like transformation can happen that way. Realizations can happen and things move more easily with the more you ask. So it's like, I feel like something gets channeled through you when you write. So write your feelings first. I'm hearing like it's kind of messy at first. But I feel like there's something about writing letters to God that brings you peace, or letters to source, universe, whatever. But writing, keeping like a journal or something. It doesn't have to be like an everyday thing, but like write your prayers out. I'm hearing like even on a note card, like it doesn't have to be like a prayer. Literally like, I want this, please. Please give me this. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. And it's like, this is what I think will, like, and I mean, like, however you want to phrase it. Some people say, oh, but like, if you like study the law of like attraction and everything, they're like, oh, but I don't want to bring that kind of energy in. Write whatever you want. Like, write whatever you want. Okay, because this is a prayer. Prayers are messy. Okay, when you're asking a lot, people are on their deathbed and you're like, I don't want this person to that. Like, you're saying just about anything, okay? Like, forget manifestation, forget law of attraction. Like, you just got to say what you feel. And that's honestly what Spirit is asking you, is say what you feel. And then after a few days of getting all your feelings, I'm hearing, like, there's like an explosion of just letters to God. Just say what you feel. Saying what you feel is so important because there's that's a key. Spirits, they're actually, okay, I'm just going to let them kind of flow with words through my mouth. That's a key to unlock who you're supposed to be with in this lifetime is one that I'm getting. And also that it's going to unlock like the next step of your journey. This is a tale as old as time. This is a journey that so many other people have walked before you. There is always a way out. There is always an answer. You don't arrive to it immediately, but it comes. It comes fast. It comes slow. Sometimes it comes fast. Sometimes it comes slow. But you will age. I don't want to say you'll get over it, but that's kind of the feeling that they're giving me. What are the words necessary? What are the words specifically? You will age and time will tell. That doesn't mean it's going to come years from now, but what they're saying is that the pain of this will subside over time. And it's almost like you get better. When you let go of this, you get better. Like you get better things in place of that. So, but just know that it starts with that letters to the universe, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. Start writing letters, make it messy, get your feelings out there. I'm getting like, at first it's going to be the most desperate, messy ass plea ever. Just like do what you got to do. You can work towards manifestation later if you want, but I'm hearing like they're saying, don't miss anything. Tell us absolutely everything. They know. So, they know everything, every aspect that you're feeling. Spirit knows, what your past, your present, and any possible future looks like, just because they're walking it with you. In the metaphysical, it's all happening at the same time, which is why they can move things around all crazy like they do, like when they're like intervening and stuff to like save lives and put opportunities in front of us. So anyway, this isn't really like is it metaphysics? Yeah, I think so. This isn't like one of those quantum physics, metaphysics, this isn't one of those lessons or anything, but because I would like to study it more myself. I'm no expert, but this is just from my mediumship practices, my books, things I've been told by Spirit. Like these are things that, things that I've come across from time to time. And we also have spiritual abundance. So thank you, angels, for blessing me with infinite abundance. I'm still hearing the word prayers. That keeps coming back. Prayers don't have to be, like I said, specific things. They could literally be again, it's just talk. Just talk to them. Talking to them as a prayer. Because words are magic. Words get to them, So spiritual abundance just says that like you have a lot of support, and I see very strong, well-rounded angels at your side. I see very strong, well-rounded angels. And I'm getting that they're creating opportunities for you. And they're plentiful. There's plentiful opportunities. And they have a lot of like magic and sway to go around. So you don't have to worry about missing any opportunities, because if you quote unquote miss an opportunity, if you choose not to follow up on it, they have more. there's more that they are willing and able and can give you. So I don't think you should ever have to worry about there ever being a lack of any amazing things coming your way in life, because they're there. Like, I'm actually seeing what they're showing me as like in abundance. They're showing me like a big round, almost like a ball, or like a somebody who's, I don't know, like a stuffed turkey or something. Like, they're showing me like a stuffed turkey. Like, there's so much there that they can provide to you, that you just need to have a little bit of faith that they can deliver. But some of it takes time, and again, for a lot of you, all you have to do is ask. All you got to do is ask, and then appreciate the things that you do see that, you know, kind of click and are like, oh, that was spirit. Any positive thing that's happening to you, spirit kind of put in your path. Anything where it's like you kind of say like, oh, my luck is turning up. So that is coming around the corner, but that letters and those prayers are like extremely important. And then lastly, and before we roll some dice, you have change and transition. Archangel Azrael. Thank you, Azrael, for leading me safely through this change. So again, we're going through a transformation. This is kind of a transitionary stage for some of you. I'm getting for a lot of you, this whole reading is kind of change and transition, because you are looking to get out of something sticky and into something that's more, I'm hearing like you treasure this so deeply. And you were meant to be here. You were meant to find this. Just be aware, you were meant to find this. You were meant to be here. But it has come to a close. Don't linger. The message kind of tails off because I'm actually getting some heartbreak that follows. There's a heartbreak that follows, and it's almost like nothing needs to be said, but now the feeling of sadness comes in. Like, I actually kind of want to cry right now because I'm feeling my heart like it kind of feels like it's dropping, because that's not really, if I was the sitter, if we were swapped, like, this isn't what I would want to hear. I know it's true, but it's not what I want to hear, and it doesn't feel good, but I do feel like after the pain has subsided, it will give you peace. That's the important thing. It'll give you peace in the long run. It's a lot better for you. We're going to roll some dice. I'm sorry. Ooh, we're going to roll some dice and see any lasting messages from spirit that we have. I'm pulling from Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. We're using all Kyle Gray stuff because I just love his angel teachings. But this is basically a message book of 0 to 999. So I actually went and bought dice so that I could treat it more like an oracle book. You can use book divination. If you get this book, open it up and be like, oh, that's my message. Or if you see the same number over and over again, you can refer to this guide and see kind of like what it means if you choose to use this as a tool. And I've been telling spirit, like, I want to use this as a tool specifically for my dice, so that's what it's for. But tell spirit how you want to use stuff and they'll communicate with you that way. So you got the numbers 781. So I'm going to do, okay, 781. Angel wisdom is inviting you to recognize your own contribution to the path that you are on. The experiences that you are having wouldn't be the same without you, and it's important you recognize the light and talents you are bringing to the world. One more time, angel wisdom is inviting you to recognize your own contribution to the path that you are on. The experiences that you are having wouldn't be the same without you, and it's important you recognize the lights and talents you are bringing to the world. So it wasn't all for nothing. For some of you, you've had a positive effect on people or the person that you're trying to leave. This is referring to the situation that you're in. It wasn't all for naught. You will see change and you will see growth, but you were not meant to stay. And that just keeps coming through loud and clear. But just know that you were a shining light. Regardless of how this goes down and how you choose to separate from this energy, you were a shining light and you grew, and the people around you, the person or the people or the situation you were in, everything else around you grew. It's almost like I see you being the fertilizer that everybody else needed to kind of grow a little extra greener, grow a little faster, grow a little longer. So you served in somebody or many people's spiritual growth in some way. But yeah, it's a bittersweet time for a close. Ooh, okay. Okay, whew. I'm gonna have to yoga that out. Ooh, or do another reading after this or something. But thank you guys so much for joining me and my lovely ferrets who I think have decided to take a nap. Actually, I don't know if you could see it. You see them in the hammock up there. Look at his face. Look at his face. I wonder if I can like zoom in. Can I zoom into that? No, I can't zoom in when it's recording, but isn't that cute? You see his little face up there? They bring me so much joy. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on the Little Ferret Den. As always, we've been keeping it warm and cozy. I hope you're doing the same. In my area of the world, it is freezing. It's starting to warm up a little bit, but yeah, hopefully you guys are staying warm and safe. And hopefully this message helped, and I'll see you next time. Bye.